Hello everybody, welcome to a video for Thursday. I'm not sure if this is going to be my first or second video, but this is going to be a guide of the Cosmic Horror Side event. I know a lot of you have been asking a question, and especially from a point of going, look, there's a rank 4 version of Summoned Symbiote, or Lil Steve. Does he indeed do the quest? And the answer is yes, he does. So I've just come off 100%ing the quest and using a rank 4 version. And that's what this video is all about, presenting a guide for rank 4. Do bear in mind, rank 5 can be got, so you might want to aim for that. But maybe people won't have the opportunity to do that. Maybe you've forgotten to do some of the Cosmic Eclipse. Maybe you don't want to do that. But you do want to get what you can get from Cosmic Horror. So this is what this is for. Check out the link in the description, the information in the description. We've got spreadsheets. We've got also a write-up that gives you a guide on things, because there's a lot of things to know about when doing this. So yeah, check out the write-up in the description. And as well, let's get into the video. So some general bits of advice from me is that using a rank 5 version may be better, as there may be some extra kind of like bits to it that make it like pop off damage wise a little bit more. So that's the thing, but you know, we need to find it from a rank 4. Do please use boosts. Something that I forgot from time to time is using boosts. They really help out your Summoned Symbiote, especially from the start when you use the HP one. Also, Hoard Pre Fights, if you're going deeper into it, and that's what this guide is going to premise more, is that if you're looking to 100% it or go to those final paths, then you might need to consider, which I'm going to go in the narrative of saying, is that the more expensive pre-fights will be the better ones to buy first, to a degree, but at least trying to get that pesky Agent Venom to remove some of his tenacity. It does massively help you out for ease, and follow the requirements that the Summoned Symbiote has in the pre-fights as well. Those are some general tips there. Now the guide. Okay, so you've probably come in and done the first path. Once you get the rank 4 version or even the rank 3 version, you can comfortably do this first path here. I would recommend doing that. It just refamiliarizes yourself. When you're using the rank 4, this is how I start off, right? I do path 1 and I spend no pre-fights. Okay, I start spending on pre-fights when I reach Venom here, the 5-star first. The reason I do this is that it allows me to prep for this lane. There's going to be something, as I keep going back to, Agent Venom in my opinion is one of the most annoying bosses or annoying fights that you might come across because of tenacity. And I want to start off and prepare the volume of currency first, or at least kind of going like, okay, well, I know what I'm getting myself into down the line, but start to buy the more expensive pre-fights. Because at the end of the day, the pre-fights for this champion, which are incredibly important to taking down some of these enemies, you're gonna need at least 3 to purchase. You can see there's activate 3, activate 3. Those two there, Leech and Enrage, cost the most. So for me, I'm all about starting off about stealing the power. So that's why, first of all, I form a basis of Leech. Every time I throw a special attack, I'm then able to swipe back and build power. This can be really, really important, especially because a lot of these champions, Venom, Red Goblin, and also Symbiote Supreme, all 3 of those gain power exponentially. So that's 3 champions I'm trying to prepare for very early on, and that's Leech. And just to quickly kind of brush over things, because I do have some images which I'll try and put in the Discord, or links to some kind of folder on my Google Drive or something for people to check out, or try and put some social media, or the community tab. I'll put it on the community tab for the channel. This is my spending process. You do not have to follow the process. It was a process that I decided to do because of preparation for stuff. So as it says here, I bought Leech, Infect, and Devour on the first Venom fight on path 2, and then I bought a singular Leech for Red Goblin. I didn't spend on Venom pool, because sometimes you may not feel like you want to spend. I bought an Infect for Symbiote Spider-Man, because that fight I need to explain in a minute, and Enrage, which is kind of the main thing to build up Enrage, because you're able to break down the tenacity of Agent Venom, which, as I said, in my opinion, is annoying, and being able to comfortably parry is something that really comes into the second purchase of Enrage. But again, no spend on Symbiote Supreme, but we'll talk about these bosses a little bit more, and also I'll throw footage over the top wherever I can. Right, so let's begin by talking about the paths. So I've got so many things to kind of bring together into one video, and I'll try and put something like a community tab post, or try and put some, there's loads of it, like I've done some images as I'll let you know, with the stuff to accompany it, what I'm doing. So we'll go path by path and break it all down between like what's in a game and then what's with the abilities. So to start off with, when you face off against Venom, he will gain buffs. That's the one thing. The second thing of that, he's going to build power, which you need to suppress. You can suppress that by having leech and adapt. You need adapt because there's this kind of problem of buffed up. You need to gain buffs. Doing medium attacks using the adapt, which is on screen right now, you're able to build fury buffs. So you build fury buffs, you're able to kind of like not bypass, but kind of deal with that buffed up. So the more mediums consecutively you do, the more buffs you get. The more buffs you get, you're able to do damage. The other thing to mention is that having Devour means that you're able to hit into the enemy with light attacks and also nullify and regen at the same time, going hand in hand with Leech, because the enemy champion is going to build power. So it means that you're able to, when you throw a special attack, you swipe back, and then what you're doing is you're power controlling at the same time. This is why I'm talking about the idea of an expensive Leech for 3 pre-fights have been put on, adapt to build fury and buffs, and Devour in order to suppress the buffs that that Venom gets. So this is all about like a win-win, and kind of like a very important kind of process. It starts you off strong. Then after that, you've got Red Goblin, and that's just keeping the champion to an SP1, throwing an SP1 yourself, and making sure to use Leech. The great thing about the spend process that I've done is that by the time that you do this, you can get yourself a second Leech. So that's what I did as well. When I reached Red Goblin, I got a second Leech. This is the process that I was talking about. If the champion is building power really quickly, or the special attacks are costing less, then what you can do is do more of your swiping back and take more power from the enemy. You're taking more power, they ain't throwing special attacks at you, but it's a very simple fight and starts you again on this kind of like process of gaining back some giving back pre-fights, and also kind of like having a good time with it. Venom Pool is probably the most fun fight, because if you've got Devour on, it means that you're taking the buffs away from this enemy, because he's got Resistor on, and as well he does get like a load of buffs, and you're like, right, okay, I'm gonna nom this, and you're like doing loads of light attacks. You're taking those buffs, number one. Number two, that you're also gaining back health with Devour, so like it's great. This is a lot of fun and a great tool to then building back health, and if you've lost health for whatever reason. So that's just a really thing that, so there's nothing else that I did not spend on that one. It's only when I reached the Symbiote Spider-Man that I then decided to spend, because then it's a little bit tricky when it comes to that fight. So yeah, it's only kind of like I decided to buy an Infect when I got to the Symbiote Spider-Man. The Symbiote Spider-Man has Mixmaster on and Dizzy. So this is where Infect comes in. If you're not familiar with what Infect does, it basically means that you are able to put a poison on the enemy. So Infect allows you to put poison on the enemy, or convert a bleed to a poison effect, which suppresses evade abilities. Okay, so what you're looking to do when you start off this fight is to do a parry, and then do a medium, light, medium, or light, medium, light, whatever you choose. The fact is, you cannot do the same thing in repetition, because it will make the enemy go into evade. This is then a point, then you do parry and heavy, and if you've got a bleed effect, it will transfer to a poison effect, suppress the evade abilities, and then what you're able to do is capitalize on there. You'll be looking to then do a special attack and then swipe back. That will be, again, that Leech, which you've got double on at that time, and you're able to stop the power gain from that champion. So it's going to be a really good process for you to kind of like rotate around doing that and suppress the SP1 from going at you, which SP1's annoying. FYI, on the last path, there is it's the one that takes your block proficiency away. Can't remember what it is. I think it's not Bane, it's something else, but we'll cover that in a minute. But it's all fun and games. Now, on to Agent Venom. This is annoying fight based on the ebb and flow. not so much something to worry about. It's the tenacity within the champion's abilities. This is why Enrage is the first thing to purchase. You can see like that. I've bought Enrage because it's the right thing to do. We got to stop suppressing those purifying abilities, and it's not too bad to the start point, because you do take a ability accuracy reduction, or you ability accuracy reduction the enemy, as it says here, by 70%, and start with a fortitude buff, reducing incoming damage from all sources from 18%. As soon as you start this process, it's great. We've got 2 leeches so far. We have got 1 effect and 1 devour. Okay, so it's a good process, a good starting platform to then build from this. Now, if I was just doing a path completion and going to the boss, hey, then that's what it is. But if you want to really kind of get towards the end, then you might want to then, you know, go down this route. Otherwise, you know, spending on certain things isn't really kind of like too bad. But that's the thing. Leech is good. It's really good. It becomes even better when it comes to the Symbiote Supreme boss, Symbiote Supreme on path 2. And then, as I said, we'll go into path 3 and 4 very quickly in a moment. But it's just, again, these are the basis here for the nodes. They then adapt from there, and they're easier to kind of explain about the adaptation because the playstyle remains the same. So what does one do when it comes to Symbiote Supreme? Well, for the first side of things, try not to gain any buffs. Do remember that part of the pre-fights, which, by the way, they stack, they build, you don't lose any, they keep there, right? So as soon as you get to that point and you're like, okay, right, well, I've got to watch out, you're going to have to change your process of swiping, because try not to dex. Do like very kind of shallow type evades. Like if you're backing the enemy against the wall, try not to well time your evades, because you will get dex, and if you get dexterity up, it's a buff. Okay, do not double medium because it's a buff. Maybe keep yourself to a medium light type 5-hit combo, as that will mean that you will not do a consecutive medium, and that's good, because if you do medium light medium, then what are you doing the next hit? That's right, you're doing a medium, so you'll be doing 2 consecutive mediums if indeed you're like intercepting or kind of being a complete boss of the game. Sometimes it doesn't pay to do that. The other thing is, do SP2s. Don't do SP1s, because I believe you get an armor buff from that one, which causes a problem, because yeah, it gives you a buff and also gives you a fury. So don't try to gain buffs. You will be smacked. I've made that mistake in this before, but I didn't do any kind of like spend pre-fights prior to the fight, because the main emphasis was to save to go into the next path. If I've lost you completely, follow the guides. They're in the description down below. Like this is the process now. Now we're doing path 3 and path 4. And you might be saying to yourself, like, I'm going to be going over to some of the various bosses here, and that's cool. When you do meet these bosses, there will be stuff to kind of remember and mention, especially when it comes to Mixmaster and Tenacity and some other things. So if you want to find out, I will be doing a final boss, which, yes, we'll be talking about this one here, the final one, but at the same time, the process is the same. Okay, so let's go over the final 2 paths, path 3 and path 4. As I said, they will remain largely the same, especially as we've got the imagery right here. So I'm going to put it on screen now. This was my spend right here on stuff. I bought a Devour and Adapt for Venom, again, to deal with certain things. I bought an Enrage when I got to Red Goblin, and I didn't spend on Venom Pool, and I didn't spend on Symbiote on Spidey Symbiote. And I bought an Enrage. Again, this is my process. I'm buying the more expensive things, or I'm aligning expensive things. I'm getting Enrage, like blitzing on this route, because I was just concerned about this Venom. When I did my first run, because I did like a first run prior, obviously to 100% it, I did notice that I wasn't finding the Agent Venom fight particularly good because of the tenacity. So in order to deal with that, I had to really think about putting Enrage on. And that's the thing. Doing the more expensive ones first actually saved me a lot in the long term. And that probably would apply if I did like a shorter route as well. If I did like up to path 3 and boss, or not really path 2 and boss. I think that's really kind of like, but the further you go, it's actually a lot better for the Summoned Symbiote. It may even be better rank 5 as well. And path 3 advice, you've got to think about Agent Venom. That's the first thing. And then when you get to when you do Venom, do bear in mind, use mediums to gain furies, of course, to deal with buffed up. That's the kind of the main point with that one. And all the other stuff, you don't have to really worry about. There is here, whenever, you know, there's the prowess buff, that's great. Doing the light attack will suppress. And the same, like Red Goblin fight, it's fine, same as before. Symbiote, Spider-Man, Venom pool, as we said, is a process of you gaining back any kind of like regen by nullifying buffs. Symbiote Spider-Man is all about doing that method. Medium like medium, get a bleed up, parry heavy, suppress evade. Then it's a case of doing a special attack and swiping back so the champion doesn't throw an SP1 at you, which is the main thing to point out. And Agent Venom, you start getting these things like chitting charges come in. I think it's Hit Me, I Dare You, yeah. And this will come a process if you learn this is 5-hit combos. Do a 5-hit combo, then do a 4-hit combo. Go into a parry, and then hit into a medium light. It means that what you'll do is you'll nullify the armor buff, and you're able to gain back your regen. You're able to regen, and as well start a process. You've got Enrage on, so it's going to help you to be more parry efficient. And as well, when it comes to Symbiote Supreme, we know the method with that one. Try not to dex and go with medium light. Stick with an SP2. All right. Final path now, and this is where it's annoying. There's flare on this. Okay, my only gripe with this is you've got to work fast. Same process as before, but you've got to work fast. You've got to rotate quickly. You've got to build your buffs, medium, so swipe, and then it's a case of just rocking in, special one, and then swipe back. Then you're suppressing the power, and you're able to kind of like, you know, smash quite effectively. Red Goblin, again, not anything too mad to worry about. There is masochism, but I got to be honest, when I played it, I didn't find any issues with it. Same rotation as before, nothing really to worry about. Venom pool, again, same again, except watch out for buffet. And I would say with this, just not try and do, just make sure you build buffs. No, don't build buffs. That's really the thing. So just medium, light. So make sure combos are essential with this one. Okay, Symbiote Spider-Man. This is an annoying fight, especially because it's got bubble shield. That's the one I was referring to. And again, you're going to have to do the same process. Medium like medium. Try and get the parry heavy. And then it's a case with the bubble shield, trying to avoid it as best you can. And Agent Venom. This is something that you're going to have to really remember. Armor Assault. 5-hit combo. 4-hit combo. Parry. And then medium, light. What you'll do with the lights, you will then you will nullify the buff, and then you're all right to continue on. And then Symbiote Supreme, again, same process as we talked about before. The idea of what you got to do is not gain a buff. Nothing really to worry about apart from that. And then with the final boss, and here's my top tips for the boss, because you have to remember this, because you might make a mistake. Okay, so the boss has Tenacity, Feat of Power, Mixed Master, Rolling Thunder, Insult to Injury, and Aspect of Evolution. Okay, so the process in order to get this locked down is do medium light medium to build power. Okay, then do your special attack 1, then swipe back. You will throw off your debuffs. You'll remove the debuffs from you. This means you can parry again. So whilst you've got debuffs on, you cannot parry. You can't do anything if the debuffs are on you. Then, once you're able to parry again, do a medium light medium, and hopefully you've gained a bleed debuff. Parry heavy, and then you're able to start suppressing the evade, and then you can start from there to play normally. But do bear in mind, you will have to do the parry heavy on any bleed effects in order to suppress any evades by transferring them over to poison. And hopefully that guide has helped you out with taking on Cosmic Horror. I'm going to end it there because I don't want this video to be too long. I want it to be as concise as possible. There's lots of information to go over. I have done several accompaniments to this, the write-up in the description down below. Also, the spending guide of the various different paths of what I did. There's also as well the images, which I'll try and put up on the community tab as soon as I possibly can. But I'm going to get the video out first, then try and get this out as an accompaniment as soon as possible. But you know, it's been a lot of work. I've worked on this now for probably 6 hours. I want to say 5-6 hours or something. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. Make sure as well, before we go anywhere, to support some of the other content being put out on the channel, which will be on screen right now. Yeah, I want to get this video out as quickly as possible because I know a lot of people have requested it. Rank 4 Summoned Symbiote being used in Cosmic Horror. Can it work? Yes, it has worked. It worked fine. Rank 5 may be better, but the guide and full information is in the description down below. Have a good one, whatever you're doing. Bye-bye for now.